From programmer to an industry leader who is transforming the health sector, David Calvo, CIO at Northern Health, is passionate about the cloud, security and big data. Motivated by the knowledge his role can and does make a difference to people's lives, his big focus now is the digital transformation of the health service he works for. So is he a game changer? Let's find out. I'm Gemma Acton. Welcome to Game Changers, in partnership with Logicalis, the architects of change. Well, David, thank you for joining us today. You have a really interesting background. Born in Venezuela, grew up in Spain, you live in Australia now. What have you learnt from those three very distinct cultures?
That's a very good question. Language, that's probably the first thing. English was not never in my peripheral vision, but then I decided to move to Australia and I had to learn English, which was, challenging. Growing up, it was challenging as well to come from Venezuela, which was, even though we speak the same language, is a very different culture. Moving to Spain, my biggest concern when I was 6 years old, which is when I moved there, was, is people going to understand? And that was a massive concern for me. So yeah.
And a big move to come to Australia. It's not often people who are living in Spain think, I know I'm going to move to Australia. What drove that?
Work. I went to uni in the US, went back to Spain because my mother needed heart surgery and I wanted to be with her. And what was supposed to take a couple months, it took 2 years. So after a while, I went into a company that was close from my parents' house, just for, commodity. And I started working over there as it'd be just a 2-month thing, and 4 years after, I continued working in there. They globalized the IT team. They opened a position in Melbourne, and I applied for it, and I got it. And that was now, almost 11 years ago.
And you've never left?
Never left. Yeah.
Now, I love your university background, because from what I understand, you did quite a bit of it, and then thought, hang on, this course is a bit behind. Yeah. It's not moving forward into the new era. Tell us about what you felt.
Yeah, so I started uni, I did 2 years in Spain, and after the second year I was like, I don't think this is for me. The program was very dated, and the reason why I ended up going to the US is because they had programs with AI and robotics and automations and all these sort of things that back then were all starting, so it was all very new and very exciting. Funnily enough, I ended up in Hawaii, out of all places, because they were actually piloting a program there that contained all those materials in there. And I spent 3 years living in paradise because it was amazing.
Living in Hawaii and working on AI, a lot of people's dream at the moment. So you've been following the AI path for a long time now. Are you excited about the developments that are happening?
Absolutely. I think we need to be careful with the way we approach it to make sure that it's secure and we don't do things that we shouldn't. But stopping it is not a solution for anything, or being scared about it. This is like when cars came out and you tell people, no, don't drive cars because they're dangerous. This is the same thing. You have to embrace it and you have to teach people how to use it properly.
There are a lot of technophobes out there, but one of the areas of technology where people are genuinely excited is about how technology can revolutionize health. And given we have an aging population around the world, there is so much potential. You must see that every single day in your job. Tell us about why you wanted to work at the intersection of technology and health.
Look, for a while I've been wanting to find purpose on what I do for a living. And in my previous company, I never found that. It's only when I got interviewed by Northern Health, and during the interview process, I the same way they asked me questions, I asked them questions. And the way they answered those questions really got me. It was all about finding purpose for what you do, doing what is best for the patients, doing something meaningful for the community, and that really hooked me. And it hasn't died. I've been there for almost 2.5 years now, and I love every day. It is crazy how good it feels to make people feel good with what you do.
You see potential there to do a lot more, I assume?
Yeah, a lot.
And what are some of the goals you have in mind, or what would you like to see your role evolve into?
because Northern Health main business is the hospital, obviously. We treat patient information as gold, basically. What I want to make sure is that we treat that information correctly and that we secure it properly as well. We do have systems in place, but there's always improvements that you can put in place. So my intention will be to take Northern to the next level around patient information.
Northern Health partners with Logicalis on different ventures. They do talk about themselves being enablers. Is that how you found the experience to be?
Absolutely. They do have, not only on the technical side, but in the human side as well. The engagement has always been incredible.
Tell us how you see the role of a strong public health sector in an overall functioning society.
We bring good to the community. What we're trying to do there is build a place where people feel safe, where when you feel sick, you know where you go. You know that you're going to get good attention. You know that you're going to be looked after. Every single step that we take, technology-wise or otherwise in the hospital, is always having the patient at the center. And I love that. Because it's not always the case, particularly in the private sector, which is where I'm coming from. And having that shift to people focus, it's really powerful.
It's a very big job you have, CIO of Northern Health. Tell us about your leadership style.
So look, I have a very open leadership style. My focus is to make sure that I am able to adjust the style that I have depending on who I have in front of me. And I create an environment where people feel empowered and safe. And this not only creates better engagement, but also creates a little cohort of people that really get along. And it's more about just what you do on your computer. It's you belong to a much larger thing than just that. And it creates this environment to work where it's just relaxed, but professional at the same time, and where we offer career paths to people as well. So I get really engaged with the team to know what they want to do and where they want to grow their career paths, and if there's any option that we have to put that in front of them, then we'll do. That creates really good engagement.
I had 2 babies in the last 2 years through the public health system and had a fantastic experience, but one of the memories I'll always have is just how busy people were there. Yeah. How can technology improve that for the staff who are absolutely incredible but worked to the bone?
One of the biggest challenges we have is to keep up with everything, because there's so much growth, so much demand from the public as well, that it is really challenging. So we are looking at how to treat patients at home, for example, so they don't have to come to the hospital anymore. Mm-hmm. We are looking at automating some of the administrative processes to save the time that the people spend on inputting data on systems and all that stuff. We recently moved, last year actually, we went live with EMR, electronic medical record. Mm-hmm. So we moved basically from putting everything into paper to put it into a digital system. It was a massive change for the hospital. So all these little bits and pieces add up, and they all contribute to make sure that we provide what I mentioned before, that better patient experience.
Last question, David. What's your vision for the next 5 years, let's say, in the role and for where technology can help the health sector?
Patient information is key for us. My intention will be to put in place systems that make the security of our information more robust. And not only that, but also make us compliant with all the demands that we have from the Department of Health as well, to make sure that we tick all the boxes there, basically. So my intention will be to implement systems to control how we manage patient information, where it goes, where it stays, and it's encrypted, all these sort of things that we have to make sure that we keep in line really tightly.
A lot of very important stakeholders to make happy. David, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.